Greetings, my loves. It's time that I told my story. You may have heard or read his story, but my story is our story. And I'm telling my story so that I can inspire myself to continue to move forward in pure, true, unconditional love. And it's my intentions that this story motivates others to tell their story also. I'm not looking for any sympathy. I want you to display some empathy and truly just feel me and feel the situation and feel this moment and share this moment with me so I may let go and release this moment so I'm able to receive all I deserve to receive for myself and the collective as a whole. I now invoke Mother Goddess Set, and I ask for her assistance with clarity and guidance to speak my truth in the best way possible. Thank you, Mother Goddess Set. So, on Friday, I had the most blissful, unconditionally loving experience possible. It was like the most awesome, magnificent, miraculous moment of my entire existence. I could barely sleep. I probably slept about 3 hours. And I had some clients coming in for ceremony. So I had to prepare myself. And I had all this excitement, you know. It had been a couple months for me to finally sit with this couple because there was just a lot of darkness. And my intuition guided me against even sitting with this couple. And I realized that's the ancestors. And I need to listen more, and we all need to listen more. So it can be beneficial for us as a whole to listen. And listen is more than just hearing. Listening is doing, creating an action from the words that we hear. So it is my intention to listen to the ancestors a lot more, all the time. There's no reason not to listen to the ancestors ever. So Saturday, my client contacted me and was like, hey, you know, can we come at 7? But I observed the Sabbath, so I'm like, okay, the sun doesn't set until 7:11, and I'm going to enjoy and embrace every moment of my Sabbath. So there was some kind of like anxiety or anxiousness around sitting in this ceremony that the couple wanted to hurry up and, you know, begin and start, you know. But like I said, something told me not to sit with this couple, and it's like I'm just this person that's full of so much unconditional love, and I feel like this love should be shared with all, you know. Everybody deserves to be loved and cared for and nurtured and just given the best possible feelings that they can feel in this human existence. I mean, we came to earth to feel, so I just want to assist people in all the ways possible to feel in the best ways possible, you know. That's most beneficial for our mind, body, and soul as a whole. So the couple come in and I describe the ceremony. I explain everything in detail. And, you know, I just set the intentions for us to have a great, beneficial, like, most awesome experience in spirit with the ancestors. So as I'm invoking the ancestors, the couple was, being rude and speaking while I'm speaking. So they aren't taking it seriously, aren't being respectful of the ancestors, and aren't paying attention. Sometimes people pay money and they feel like they don't have to pay attention and that the magic is just going to happen because they've given something that means nothing. So then the husband was fidgety and just uncomfortable in his body, and he started to touch the music and touch the radio and wanted to adjust, things in my sanctuary, which is disrespectful. And then at one point in the ceremony, I had to ask him, like, hey, what's your deal with me? What do you have against me? Is everything all right? And it was like he was saying no and refusing my assistance and just like laughing, and it was an unnatural laugh, like a ha 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 ha. It just was a strange thing to be occurring during ceremony. And in ceremony, I asked that people write down their intentions so that they can release the things they need to release, and so that they're able to receive things that's going to make them better for themselves and the collective as a whole. And, he just wasn't listening. He just wasn't ready to let go. When people come to me in the 14 years that I've been assisting people, and this way, people come and they're ready to release. They're ready to let go. It's time. They have to let go of these things so they can move forward and serve their mission and their true purpose here in this earth realm. And so the wife and the husband had a chat, and then the wife said, he's gonna let go now. And the husband seemed a little upset, and he threw some things, and then he went outside. So I sat at the altar and I told the wife, you don't deserve this. You don't have to go through this. No one should dump their feelings and their emotions onto another person and just expect them to carry that weight. So I went outside and I spoke with the husband, and the husband started revealing some deep, dark secrets, and he was really finally letting go, but I'm not sure if he really wanted to let go of these things, because these things has shaped him into the person that he was. And some people just don't know what's on the other side, and they fear that unknown of becoming a healed person on a healing journey, instead of just being hurtful, because hurt people, and he was hurting the people close to him. So he let go of a lot, and he wanted hugs, and he was like, Adrian, right? And he said it in another voice, and then he started rolling around on the ground, and there were just screams and sounds, and he had revealed to me that there was a voodoo curse on him. And in that moment, there was like a demonic presence that was taking over him. But it wasn't of him, He wanted assistance. He wanted this demonic presence to not be a part of him anymore, but it was all that he knew. So he was hugging me and wanting hugs from me and wanting love from me. And he also was pushing me away and fighting me. So we fought back and forth. I went and got the Bible. I read Psalms 23. And it calmed him down, and he laid on my lap. And then he got up. And he wanted to fight with me, but I was telling him I wasn't scared of him, and he wasn't able to hurt me. And then he picked up a selenite wand and he ripped the left side of my garbs. And he stabbed me in the heart a couple times with the selenite wand. And I calmed him down. I got some holy water and I poured it on him. And it calmed him and it soothed him and he laid down. And then he turned to me and he said, "You think you can kill me?" And it was the first time I ever said yes. I felt confident that I was going to be able to free him from this demonic possession. But it was up to him to let go, to really be free of this curse. So then I lit a cigar and I started blowing cigar smoke all over him. And he started coughing like, and he just, it was demonic, the sounds that was coming from him. And he would go back into himself and say he wanted assistance. But then he would get very angry and he would get very aggressive. And then finally, he ran out the house, out the front door. And when he ran out the front door, it's like something came over him. He was finally free. You know, he was outside of the sanctuary limits, outside of the safe place that was created for him. And he ran in like the fastest I've ever seen any human being run. And he said, "F this B, I'm going to kill you." And he proceeded to strangle me. I was sitting at my altar, praying for my life, praying for his life, praying for his wife's life, praying for my daughter's life, praying for my dog's life also. And he strangled me. And I felt my life slipping away. And then he grabbed the selenite wand. And he hit me as fast. It was so fast. It was like moving so fast. He was hitting me so fast and so hard. It was like harder than I've ever been hit, or harder than any human could hit another human. And I just felt this warm liquid just running all over my body. I was bleeding out. And I was looking at my hands, and my hands were just red. They were covered in blood. And I felt like my teeth were knocked out and all my bones were broken. And he just kept hitting me and hitting me and hitting me. And I was screaming like, "Help me, help me, help me." And I looked over to my left and I seen his wife. And she was staring at me, but peeking over with a smirk on her face as I cried out with my last breaths for my life. He had ripped my clothes off, and I was at my altar. And in that moment, the only thing I could do is surrender. I surrendered into the death because it was so unreal and it was so painful. And I felt so helpless. And I did my best to fight him, and I couldn't fight him off. And he just kept hitting me and hitting me in my head and in my face, and it just was continuous. And I just couldn't take no more. So I drifted off into the void and became one with everything and everyone in that moment. And I was ready to become a new ancestor. And I was sent back to my body. I was sent back here because I have a mission and a purpose to fulfill. But I wasn't looking at it that way in that moment. He finally stopped hitting me, and I went to like put my hand back to like get him off of me. And he just locked onto my thumb. Like he was biting down into my bone. And I was just screaming. There was already just blood pouring out of me. It was blood all over my body, and I was screaming, and it was like the worst pain ever. And he just locked down on my thumb, and he just wouldn't let go, and I'm screaming. And his wife finally came over, and she said, "Demon, let go of my husband." And then finally, he let go of my thumb. I ran out the house. I banged on the neighbor's door. You know, I didn't grab clothes. I didn't look for my cell phone. I didn't look for anything. I just knew that I had to save him and his wife and my daughter and my dog. And I just didn't have any energy left into me after like going through that like traumatic moment of death and rebirth all at once. So finally the neighbor answered the door, and it must have been a sight to see, because from his eyes he looked horrified, and he was just like doing his best to hold it together in that moment. He's like, "Clean yourself up," because there was just like blood all over me. All I could see is like blood all over my hands, blood all over everywhere, and it was just like blood was just pouring and leaking out of me. And I said, "Man, you gotta go save my daughter. You gotta go save my daughter." So my daughter told me that she was in the house and she had locked her bedroom door, but she put some sage by the bedroom door, and she made a noise, and she was on her way like out the window when he kicked in her bedroom door. He had said before he kicked it in, like, "Keep making noise. I'm gonna come in there for you too, you know, go in there to get her." So she was figuring out a way to get out the window. So she had like her leg out the window. He jumped from the point where he kicked in her door to knocked her through the window. And it was a bunch of glass, and he was fighting her, and he was wrestling with her. And she like slid on the ground and backed up just enough where she could get like some leverage. So she kicked him. And then she felt something behind her, and she's like, "Oh my goodness, like he's behind me already." But it was the neighbor who had come, and he lifted her up over the gate, and she's just like, "Where's my mom?" And she ran over to his house and came into the house, and I could just tell by the look on her face that I wasn't all right. But I was like telling her that I was all right. All I know how to do is like be strong in moments of weakness, you know, and just my vulnerability is my strength. So something wasn't right with her eye, and she thought her eye was gone, and then she was throwing up blood, and we just had to find a cell phone. Like my mind wasn't there. I just like couldn't hold it together in that moment. We finally like got on the phone, called the police, and the police were like being all calm. My daughter got upset, and she's like, "My mom is not all right. She needs an ambulance." Like there was just blood pouring out of me. I didn't know how to clean it up, because every time I wiped blood away, there was just more blood coming. And I just wanted help for my daughter, because she had thrown up blood, and I was just concerned with her being all right. And it was like the worst nightmare of my life. It was like the worst horror movie I ever seen was just like unfolding in front of my eyes. It's the moment that changed my life forever. There's no death without rebirth. I surrendered into that death, nude, just like the way I came into this life. And I was ready to sacrifice it all for the collective. It's been difficult. Every time I close my eyes, you know, I see this demon wanting to kill me, and it's just difficult for me to grasp, because I just want to show love to everybody and be in this state of unconditional love, in this state of bliss. And the reality is there are evil forces here that want to destroy and take away everything that we love. But we can't give in to those things. We got to keep moving forward. We got to fulfill our mission in pure, true, unconditional love. And we have to tell our stories. And we have to release these things so that we can move forward without the baggage. So we can have a heart as light as a feather. So we can enter into the kingdom and the heavens of the divine freely. Thank you for hearing me. Thank you for listening. It's important for me to get this out so that my heart can be free and light as a feather again, so I can move forward with my mission and my purpose in pure, true, unconditional love. I forgive freely. I forgive everyone who's ever hurt me. I apologize to anyone I've ever caused pain. Please forgive me. Thank you. I'm very grateful for you all. And I love you all unconditionally. And I wish the best for all, always.